Good morning. Welcome, Invisible Lady of Faith.
And her husband.
And today we're going to talk about Faith of a Centurion for Sunday, April the 14th, 2024. So this lesson is taken from Luke 7, chapter, verses 1 through 10.
Yes.
I want to ask all of you guys out there, so your response in the comment section below. So, what is your worth?
What's your confidence is like? Can you stand up for what you believe in? Because this centurion, that's what he's doing. He's that's the whole thing. The centurion is what they call a Gentile. In other words, he's not a Jewish person.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But he's human. So I wanted to add to that.
I know we people get bogged down in racism
labels and
and
divisions
labels.
and all this. Yeah. We're all human.
But nothing has changed much in the Bible today, and that's why we're going to separate that. This is
you mean nothing has changed much? What in
as
the
far
Bible?
as far as race?
Oh, as far as
race, humanity. Nothing has really changed. It's the same old behaviors and stuff.
Okay.
Because this centurion is a Gentile, or he's a Roman, and this particular Roman wants to engage Jesus Christ. That's what we're getting into.
Okay, he has a high position in the Roman, I guess,
military,
army,
the
military or whatever. Mention what a Pharisee is, or what a Pharisee was. A Pharisee was a very influential Jewish religious group during the time of Jesus.
Yeah, think about it as our politicians today, the way in the environment.
We're going to talk about what we can learn from this lesson, Faith of a Centurion, and what we're going to learn to apply to our everyday lives. So we know the last several lessons has been about faith. So faith is very crucial to our life as believers because we believe in something that we have not seen.
Yeah, and this faith, we have a lot of faith in a lot of different things, and people try to get people to think, like, for instance, I grew up, you can go to a light switch, you have faith that the light bulb's going to come on, and when you turn it on, you have faith it's going to be light in the room. But sometimes light bulb burns out. So there's a lot of different analogies or stories of trying to tell people, how to increase your faith in what you believe. And this is what the Sunday school's about, This one here is the faith of a centurion, and it's going to go on. It's going to be faith of I think a anointer, in the future when I was kind of flipping through it. So they're just looking at it from different perspectives.
Right. So in this lesson, I wanted to just mention something about the first verse where it said when Jesus had finished saying all these things to the people were listening, and first question I asked myself is, what things was he talking about? Because we didn't know. Well, I didn't know what things he was talking about. So I had to look that up. So I looked in chapter 6, the previous chapter from 7, to find out what those things were.
And it thinks about Reverend Mitchell. He said if you want to find more context, you need to look up above it and below it to get understand it and see if it's related.
Right.
Yeah.
So these things that Jesus had been talking about that they're referring to in verse 1, these things, and the people were listening to these things that he was saying, and he was reminding us, or reminding the people at that time that still we can be reminded of today, is to speak positively about others and to love our enemies and to do good to those that hate us and to treat others the way that we want to be treated. And when we loan something to someone, don't expect it to be repaid. That's kind of a controversial one right there.
No, but see, but basically that first verse, just think of Jesus Christ was teaching a Bible study class like today, or teaching something like that. And then, when he said we finished, there, then he was getting ready to move on to this, what we're talking about, the centurion. So it's a Bible study. But what you were talking about, the contents of the Bible study, is what you were talking about.
Right, the contents of the Bible study that he was sharing with the people.
When you loan some money to someone, don't expect it back. Okay, just listen to that. You got to give more context. You describe more give it more context to it. And the interesting part about it, myself personally, I'll speak from, because I've loaned a lot of money out. And when you're having this conversation with this person, and they're in need of it, and they're saying a loan, and most people, I have found out in my experience, they're asking for a loan, but they really have no intention of paying it back. But guess what? I knew that. So I have a rule. I don't loan money out that I can't afford to lose. You got to think through this. God is not telling us every time somebody asks for an enemy, a friend, they'll ask to loan money, you loan it to them. No, you be wise about how you're going to loan that money.
And like you said, don't loan it knowing that you can afford to basically lose that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one thing is that even after you have done it, you shouldn't be really getting all upset and everything about it, because you should have paid attention before you made that transaction with that person. Mm-hmm. You should put more thought into it before you do it. And that's where we need to start thinking about it. In all our lives, that's where we fail, just like in our marriage. Because we found out after being 40-something years, and if we knew what we were really doing, we would have put more thought into
more questions.
Yeah, more questions.
In the beginning,
yes. And get involved. Yeah.
Learn the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so also some things that were mentioned in chapter 6 that Jesus was teaching, that chapter 7 referred to, is judging. We really shouldn't judge, but I know watch a lot of videos where people are commenting or judging other people's behaviors or actions or lives. So also we should practice, mentioned in that that chapter 6 I'm talking about, is to forgive, to learn how to forgive.
So in other words, you give more contents of the Bible study we're talking
so that was those things that Jesus was teaching about in chapter 6. So we know that the centurion was the one that was sick, right?
The military.
The centurion was sick.
The commander.
But I don't know why he didn't have the confidence to go approach Jesus himself.
No, see, the thing is, that's why I bought it in. You remember the Samaritan woman that we talked about last time? Yeah. He says the Jews do not have nothing to do with the Samaritan. So there's issues again across race lines.
Oh, okay. I hadn't thought about the racial line.
Yeah, it's a race line again.
I thought it was like more of a self-confidence or lack of self-confidence.
Christianity is not for any one particular race. Anyone that wants to practice love, peace, self-control, patience, and all those things, this is what it's all about. It's not about race, but we're just bringing the race in, and I hope we don't.
What is it about?
Huh?
What is it about?
The race thing, we need to really get rid of that.
It's about love.
Oh, yes, true.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
It's more about that. You're right.
We're supposed to do to other humans.
Yes.
Love them and treat them the way we want to be treated.
And I'm glad you're bringing that up, because we need to continue to talk about that, because we're putting too much weight on the race as opposed to we should be putting more weight on love and getting along and trying to understand and communicate with one another.
And patient and understanding and forgiving. Yeah. Okay, so we know that the centurion wasn't feeling well, or he wanted to be healed.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling well, and it said die. So we knew this, whatever he had was
serious,
close to death.
Serious. Okay.
Yes.
So the centurion knew, as well as his friends knew, the power that Jesus had.
You've heard of it, yes.
He heard, yeah.
Heard that teaching like you were talking about,
right.
Yes.
Yeah, right. They heard of Jesus' teachings. So this is why the centurion wanted his friends to go and ask Jesus to pray for him.
And again, his friends were elders of the Jewish faith. They were Jews.
Okay.
So that's good. You have a Roman and Jewish people. They're friends. I wish more people would be more friends, and we can put down our guns and all that other stuff. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, and another thing that it mentioned in that scripture is that his friends and elders convinced Jesus. So that means, they said pleaded earnestly. So that means they had to convince him to heal their friend, but in their minds, but not really, because Jesus already knew. He already knows, what was going on.
The way Jesus felt about, he saw the love of the Jewish people, and he saw the love of this Roman. They wanted to get this thing done. Mm-hmm. They had the faith, and saw the love, the compassion, and everything they had. with one another because and the reason why I'm saying it, because they said this man deserves this healing. Okay, and that part, and they found out, well, why they have so much respect for him, because this military person that was attacking Jews, but he was an officer, because he said he can tell his group, his platoon or whatever you call it, if he say jump, they jump, how high, whatever. In other words, he had authority, and his team respected him. But it also, the elders of the Jewish, they said, this man helped us to build our synagogue. So put a building in place. The guy, he treated people with respect and helped them build that synagogue for them. So
this is just, you're just mentioning how these people thought of this centurion. They
Yes.
thought highly of him.
And he thought highly of his friends too, the elders,
Right,
to go and
but
do
also they knew the power of Jesus.
that. Yes.
So they probably believe just thinking about Jesus, or just saying it, or seeing him, or just touching his clothes resulted in the person's healing. So that was their faith. I just want to see him. I just want to touch him. So that's some faith right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the faith, not only that, is the love that bond the friends together, the elders, the Jewish that spoke of, the centurion. Even you can see it in his troops that he commanded, and you just saw all of that. And
Everybody just getting along,
Yeah.
and loving, and
Yes.
and understanding.
he was amazed at what he saw when they came to it and pleaded with him. He was amazed, and he said the faith he saw, faith that impressed him, so that he said, I've never seen anything like this faith in all of Israel, in the Jewish community. He saw the faith that.
I thought I was finished saying my comments, but one thing that you said, I want to just stress that we can read, we can pray, but I think the thing that has the most impact on other people and unbelievers is our actions.
Yes.
So once we read and we study, we should apply those things to our everyday life.
Put
and
it
I
into
think that
action.
would be a bigger impact on people than just
That'll be a bigger sermon to the world.
telling them to pray and read. Pray and read is good, but I think
Us believers.
showing is
Yes.
just as big.
Us believers, we need to
Yeah,
do
we need
more
to
action to
we
show
need a
that
better
we do
job
love and care.
Of applying the word to our everyday lives.
Yeah.
And being a better example to
Yeah.
the world, our people in our little
Yeah.
friendship circle.
Yeah, and it's
So with
and-
that being
and
said,
that's so bad
we're
about that.
gonna-
Here, one more thing. When you say she's right, but also too, we want to walk it in truth and be authentic about it, because once people start attaching you to, well, see, they're hypocritical. See, they doing this. When you start getting that trash in the line, it taunts what we're doing.
we want to be real. We don't want to be fake.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't
We
want
wanna
to
be
be fake.
real.
We want to be real.
I'm done.
Okay. You done? You sure
Yeah.
about that? Okay, so for the third time, with that being said, we'll bring this discussion to a close. So we hope we said something that you can learn from and provoke thought. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time.
Alrighty.
Have a blessed weekend.
That's my wife.
Bye-bye.